All right, I would like to call this meeting of the Richland County Parks Commission on Monday, April 5th, 2021 to order. Was there proof of notification?
Yes, it was posted, and on the website, and then, on the bulletin board.
Parks Commission meeting was properly posted. Would entertain a motion to approve our 20-point agenda. Motion by Gary Manning, seconded by Cindy Chicker. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Approve our minutes of our March 1st and March 4th, 2021 meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by John Collins to approve our minutes for both meetings. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Eric Seamandel. Any further discussion, additions, or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, those minutes, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Those minutes are now approved. Number 4, public input. Do we have any public input? Is there any public input? Is there any public input? Hearing no public input, we'll move on to agenda item number 5, bid opening for parks mowing and maintenance. We have received several bids here. A couple are just for the Pine River Bike Trail. Some are for both of them. So, looks like we received one from Home Free, Mike's Mowing, and L&R Services. And I assume this Pine Trail River is from Jim Stanek?
Yes.
Okay. Which ones do you want opened up first? Take a pick? Just random? All right. I will do Home Free. Sealed bid. Insurance. The Home Free's total bid will be for $8,600. May 1st, it should be $1,142.86. June is $1,142.86. It's all that way till the end. So I'll pass this one around. I think this is for weekly mowing and trimming of 5 county parks listed on the County Parks Commission bid request, and cleaning the restrooms at Pier Park and Viola Park and the rifle range. So I will pass this one around for Home Free. Chad Clary, I think is the company's name. Okay, we'll do Mike's Mowing next. So Mike's Mowing has a total bid of $9,600, and that is including the county park system and the Pine River Trail. County park system included that he included in his bid was Akey School, the rifle range, Pier Park, Viola Park, and the kayak landing at Highway 80. For $8,400, and he did the Pine River Bike Trail, Recreation Trail, for a little bit of $1,200, it looks like. That's Mike Drake for Mike's Mowing.
For the bike trail?
It's $1,200. So L&R Services will be next. That's what I'm not understanding.
I don't know if I could.
So L&R Services has a bid for $700 for the Pine River Recreation Trail. However, it says rate per month. So is it $700 per month?
Yeah, for mowing, so one mowing a month.
One mowing a month will be $700 for L&R Services. I believe it how this reads. He said the trail will be mowed, including 5 feet from the edge of the gravel portion on both sides of the trail, May, June, July, August, and September. Once a month service. County Highway O to Lone Rock. So $700 a mowing, it appears to be for L&R Services for the recreation trail. And Jesus. $2,000. So this one bid here for L&R Services is for our county parks mowing. He's got one Pier Park and Rock Bridge, Viola Park, Rifle Range, Akey School from April 15th to November 1st. This bid is for 4 county park jobs for the whole season of 2021 for $8,000 even. The next one is for the kayak landing park bid, and he's done that one from April 15th to November 1st for $1,500. 8, 9,
So it'd be $9,500. Plus
for the mowing plus, yeah, 700.
Well, right, we're doing it separately.
But that could be separate. Yep.
So this one, the first one's 9,500 and the second one, 700 a month.
Yes. The bike trail, 700 a month, and 9,500 for the mowing, the kayak landing, and all of our parks. And he's got a description of what he's gonna do in there. I believe insurance is provided. And we got trail mowing. This bid is from James Stanek. $750 per mowing. 5 mowings of Pine River Recreation Trail from County Highway O to Lone Rock, 13 miles, with 7-foot offset mower. Once mowing per month during months of May through September. Has a copy of insurance. So, he is $750 per mowing.
The question from Mike, is that $1,200 per mowing or is it $1,200 for the season? I didn't see the bid.
Mike's? Like $1,400 a month. Times 6. $400. That's the county parks.
And,
Yeah, 240 for mowing.
okay,
Pine River Trail.
thank you.
Why you do that?
I don't know either.
Spend $100 on people.
So what do we have? You have it all written down?
Yeah, I've got, we'll start with just the parks mowing.
Just a second, so Stanek was, 750, times 5 months. Did he have a bid for the county parks?
No.
Okay.
Okay, we have Home Free for mowing the parks and doing the bathrooms for $8,600. For Mike's mowing, we have $8,400, the same. And for L&R services, we have $9,500.
I'll make a motion to accept Mike's mowing bid at 8,400.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to accept Mike's mowing bid for $8,400 for mowing of the county park system. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second by Eric Seamandel. Is there any further discussion? Any additions or comments, questions to these bids or mowing? Has everybody had a chance to review all these bids?
Just give it a second here, Carrie.
Okay.
And the county's policy on, sub labor or companies is $1 million liability policy? Okay. Most of the time, I'm sure we're seeing 2 million for all the tree cutters at the city. When I was in construction, any city, county, or state work I ever did, I had to have a $2 million policy.
I think the county is $1 million. I'm not,
That's what you recall, Tim, was $1 million? Okay. So motion on the floor is to accept Mike's mowing. John Collins made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Seamandel. Is there any further discussion on the acceptance of Mike's mowing in a bid of $8,400 for the county park system? And I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion on the floor carries to have Mike's mowing mow our county park system for $8,400. Next, we have the Pine River Recreation Trail bid. What are those numbers?
I gotta find it here. 250 per mowing, and, for Mike's mowing. And LNR was per mowing, okay. LNR is $700 once a month, which is basically one mowing, each mowing. And Jim Stanek is $750 per mowing. $240 per mowing.
Chair, I have a question.
Commissioner Collins, go ahead.
I have a great concern that Mike's mowing doesn't comprehend the job for mowing the Pine River Trail.
Okay.
I mean, he's a low bid. I know at the city, we can make motions to accept bids. And if there's a question for a certain part of it, if it's an answer that ups the bid, then we jump to the second bidder. You know, I'll make a motion to accept Mike's mowing bid for $1,200 with the condition that he gives us the equipment that he will be using to do that job.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Collins to accept Mike's mowing for $250 a mowing, to total up to $1,200 a mowing for our mowing season, at the request that Mike's mowing provides the equipment description that he will be using to mow the bike trail. Is there a second? Is there any discussion? Seconded by Gary Manning. Is there a discussion?
What, I don't, what does he say he's gonna mow? I mean,
5
Well,
months.
I understand that, but how wide? Cause, L&R Services says he's gonna mow 7 feet off the limestone portion for $700 a month. So why we wouldn't take that? That'd be a far better deal than if he thinks he's gonna mow that bike trail for $240 each time.
That's why I put that on there. So if he comes back and says he's just gonna have something behind, he's just gonna mow the bike trail proper and not the edges, then we'll reject his bid. Yeah, if he's just gonna do a standard 72-inch mower that you drive down the center of the trail, not a brush hog,
Right.
then that's why I wanna know what the equipment is, because there's no way he can go down both sides of Lone Rock and back. I mean, it's $100 in fuel it'll cost him.
Right. So are we just taking the lowest bid here?
with the stipulation that he supplies us with the equipment that he's gonna use. And if his equipment is,
Well, I think and a description of how wide he's gonna mow. 7 feet off the limestone portion is quite a ways.
Mike said that?
No, the L&R Services said 7 feet off the limestone portion.
Right. So
which is-
I
which
wanna
is
know what
we
Mike's,
want.
I wanna know what Mike or what Mike is gonna use. Is he gonna use a brush hog and get us at least 5 feet off the limestone?
Well, 5
That's
feet.
what I'm looking for. Right. So he's the low bidder,
Well,
but the question is, no, we don't have to accept the low bidder. But what I'm saying is,
But what did the bids say to begin with, that he took, what was that information that was in there? That he wouldn't have,
He does not specify, he says $240 per mowing, but any extra maintenance time will be $22 an hour.
yeah, and to me, a minimum is 5 feet. That's your average brush hog on the side of any mower you use is. Yes, I agree. You go to the second. Yep. Part of the motion is to find out what his equipment is he's gonna use to make sure it's adequate for what we're requesting.
Well, I think that should be included, like, what is our definition of adequate equipment?
I thought it was to mow X amount of feet on either side of the paved trail. So I wanna know what equipment he's gonna use to get on either side of that mowed trail. If he thinks he's gonna use what he's using to cut the grass out at Pier Park, it's not gonna work.
Okay.
If he doesn't have a tractor and well, I gotta deal with Simpson. Simpson's gonna let me rent a mower. He's not, by the time he pays for fuel and rent, he can't make any money. I just want to give Mike the opportunity to tell us as low bidder how he came up with this bid with the equipment he's gonna use. I think he'll come back and say, well, I was just gonna, there's no way that you can rent or own a tractor with a 5 foot side mount mower and be able to do it for $240 a time.
Not only what equipment, but that we state minimum of 5 feet off the lime trail. 5 feet off the trail on both
Do
sides.
you remember, Kathy, what the,
I don't remember.
spec
it,
was?
and I thought I printed it off and put it in here. It's on my computer back at
Okay.
the office, so
But the L&R specified they'd go 7 feet.
right, so I'm sure we said 5. I mean, that's just an automatic with a side mount mower from Simpson's. Unless you get that rotary head and then that's a 7-foot head. Yeah, I'm sure it was 5.
Mr. Chair, did we specify in the bid what equipment would be required? That worries me a little bit. 'Cause if we didn't, I think we would, a better approach would be to say that this is an incomplete bid.
Yeah, I'm looking it up here. There was, I don't know who sent it, was Kathy sent it out or did Tammy? I can't find it under Kathy's name.
guys, I thought I brought it with me. Sitting on my computer.
Okay, so Amy sent this out. It's Pine River Recreation Trail mowing specifications. Number 1, the Pine River Recreation Trail from County Highway O to Lone Rock will be mowed once a month between May 1st and September 30th. Contractor will provide own equipment. Number 3, report any downed trees or limbs to the chairperson of the County Parks Commission. Number 4, The contractor is at all times an independent contractor and not an employee of the county and must provide proof of liability insurance.
Yep. So there's no request for how many feet?
Mr. Chair, I do have some clarification on the liability insurance. It's 1 million for an occurrence, but an aggregate of 2 million. So I don't know if that was something we still had a question about.
I don't have a problem as long as it's accepted.
I mean, all that we're looking at has those requirements met.
I don't know.
I didn't see 2 million aggregate anywhere. I just saw the per occurrence.
I mean, I guess we didn't specify how wide. So how can we ask Mike? We should ask Mike to resubmit a bid and tell him how wide we want. We should technically redo it all for the bike trail. And
Yeah,
have him-
you
have
can't,
him-
right, you
res-
can't specifically ask one bidder.
Right, and resubmit bids and tell them how far we want it off the limestone portion to be correct.
Correct.
Right.
I totally agree. And we've got time because the bids, I mean, they don't start mowing till closer to,
Into May.
right?
So I think that's what we need to do.
You can reject any and all bids and then rebid it. That's fine.
So I'm gonna make a motion to reject all the bids.
Well, yeah,
Well, we got a motion
Oh.
on the floor right now
I'll-
with an
I'll-
amendment.
I'll rescind my motion.
Okay, so we got a motion by John to rescind his previous motion. And second. Gary Manning rescinds his second. So motion then now dies. And we have a new motion on the floor.
So I make a motion that we reject all the bids for the Pine River Recreation Trail and ask the bidders to resubmit a new bid and have in there the language that would require how many feet off the limestone portion we want mowed.
I'll second
A minimum of 5 feet.
So we got a motion by Commissioner Seamantle to reject all bids for mowing of the Pine River Bike Trail. And to have our bidders to resubmit bids for specifications on 5 feet width of mowing off the limestone portion of the trail,
Minimum, yep.
at minimum, 5 feet.
I need to re-advertise, I'm assuming.
We would need to re-advertise. We still got time yet, it's,
Else in there about down trees and all that then too.
yep.
Yes.
Well, we need to have, so we have this motion to do that. Is there a second? Seconded by Cindy Chicker. Is there any discussion? Okay, my discussion would be, do we need to redo the trail mowing specifications and have that written out?
That's what we just said.
I think it's easy to put in there.
Okay,
That was missed.
is there anything else that we think that we would need?
Not convinced we need to rebid, would we? We just go back to these folks and ask for clarification. I don't think we need sealed bids again, personally, but it doesn't matter either way. If we have time, then let's go for it.
I think that we didn't very well specify what we wanted clearly enough. And there are some discrepancies, and I think to be fair, I think we should reopen the bids up with our specifications on it. We're not playing favorites.
Just,
So Chad Clary from Home Free says that he has a 2 million aggregate insurance.
I think Mike does because he has to turn those I'm assuming he does because he's bid it before. So I'm assuming he does, but I can ask, make sure.
also add in there, if getting to the equipment must be capable of doing small brush so that we know we're comparing apples to apples. And you brought up the, what you're gonna use for equipment, maybe we should specify this equipment's gonna have to handle brush.
Or woody vegetation. Because there's a rough cut mower, I think there's a brush mower, rough cut mower, and a finish mower. It could be attached to something, right? And is there a difference in between the brush mower and a rough cut mower on how it cuts or what type of stuff it leaves?
Some of them have the rotating, some of them have the oils.
I would specify in our bid or in our thing that we can able to do wood up to inch or 2 inch. You know, brush up to 2 inches in diameter.
Our previous mowing specification include removal of that brush from the trail itself once it was cut?
Nah, it'd be chopped up, it wouldn't even bother, I wouldn't think.
I'm just from previous experience writing it after it's been gone through.
So we have a motion on the floor. Can't remember what the motion was now.
It was amended, but it says a motion to reject all bids for mowing of Pine River Recreational Trail and rebid to have to mow 5 feet off the paved gravel portion of the trail and equipment to handle 1 inch brush.
I thought it was up
2
to 2 inches. The amendment
Oh.
was up to 2 inch brush.
Sorry. Thank you.
So that was a motion with an amendment to be able to brush wood up to 2 inches in diameter. Did we need the motion repeated again? Is there any further discussion? Oh, so Eric made a motion. Is there a second on the amendment?
I'll second the amendment.
Seconded by Cindy Chicker for brushing wood up to 2 inches in diameter. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. So the motion now includes brush wood up to 2 inches in diameter. And 5 feet off the trail, rejecting all bids and resubmitting them. So, because we didn't properly put our specifications out there. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carried.
Those specifications to Jim Stanek, Mike's Mowing, and LNR Services.
Okay.
The next part of it is because it's over, the first one is over $5,000, that'll have to go to county board.
Yep.
So I'll have that on the,
Unless didn't we already bid for, have that in our budget for this year?
you had in the budget, but I don't know if contracts you have to do.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's contract, we have to. Okay.
So I will let Victor and Clinton and whatever the new gal's name is know we need that.
So those that are just joining our meeting right now, we have rejected all bids for the Pine River Recreation Trail mowing because we, as a Parks Commission, feel that we did not advertise it properly and clarify what we wanted exactly. So we're now resubmitting that out to the public to rebid it with our added specifications, what we want.
And
All right.
also that the parks bids were approved for Mike's Mowing to do our parks.
Yeah, Mike's Mowing was chosen with the bid of $8,400 for our county park system. Fine.
The only thing else I have under Pine River Rec Trail is the fact that the the weather holds and we don't get a lot of rain, Kenny and I are planning on going down this week later to get figure out exactly what portion to put in, to do a plan for that portion to be resurfaced.
That's the portion between the Sawmill Road and TB, correct?
Sawmill, Gotham, no, TB and Gotham,
TB and Gotham.
with a couple of, and that was, we talked about maybe having the highway department do the culverts. There's a couple of culverts along there that need to be, that are part of the project. In the, looking at doing having maybe the highway department do it. That was what was talked about at one point, but I don't know. We can put that in the plan and,
For some reason, I'm recalling the part with the deepest rills and things like that, where that was between Sawmill Road and TB.
right, but that was the repaving portion of it.
Okay,
The biggest portion of it is going to be resurfacing between, that's
Okay.
part of the bid, that's between,
TB and Gotham.
correct. That was what the grant was for.
Yes, because culverts were involved.
Is there any further discussion on agenda item number 6, Penn River Trail? Recreation Trail? Everything's looking fine. We don't have any immediate needs.
We will probably be looking at scheduling some sort of cleanup along the trail, the sides of the trail, et cetera, more than likely end of April, beginning of May, before full biking season really comes in. There's trash here, there, and everywhere, and you want to make it as hospitable for, especially, well, not just people that ride it that don't live here, but also for the people that ride it regularly, so.
The only other thing I can say is because of people being on it when it was soft,
That's my next question.
it's a mess. I don't know how anybody would even want to ride a bike on it right now. I don't know, somehow it needs to be smoothed out and
Yeah.
something.
That was my next question on grading. I see we have a gentleman here that offers his time. I didn't know if he'd be willing to do something like that. But that was my next thing, is I think that needs to be graded, I think,
Yeah.
for the year too. And I don't know whether we want to go ahead and find somebody that would offer their time to do it, or go to Simpson's and see, or somebody, homesteaders, somebody who's got a rental tractor with a box scraper or skate fires on it that can, or we just leave it as is.
Yeah, and I wrote the section between TB and Gotham this morning. There are several spots that are really still too soft to do anything with, and it's those areas with the swamp on both sides, or where Doug and I were talking before the meeting. There's a stream that comes in almost from one of the fields and one of the driveways that crosses, that then cuts over into the ditch and runs alongside the trail for a while before it goes into the swampy area. So, I mean, it's going to take a little while yet, and if we get any rain in the next couple of weeks, it's going to take even longer to do any resurfacing. It would be nice to maybe think about doing that in May if we get minimal rain. I don't know. Doug, you're probably on it more often than. Yep.
But that section between down by the bog, that's moving on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not dry. Water level. Like that.
Right.
Is that the portion that the wastewater utility put their pipe under?
I think that's further up, isn't it?
Okay, okay.
It's down in the marsh, down in the swamp.
By that long
What-
bridge?
Whatever the railroad put in there years ago to build that up, where they put their tracks through, is decomposing, and that's what's causing them sinkholes.
Mhm.
And it's just literally out of nowhere, there's just holes here, there, everywhere.
Okay.
Right, right. And then it's silted over so much. I mean, there's probably 4 inches of screenings there, but there's 2 inches of silt on top of it.
So I went, Gary Peters, who used to be on the commission, and I went down and just that for curiosity, he took a shovel and yeah, there's some of those places and that's what it is. It's underneath it, but it's, it's muck on top.
Right. But I think from 00 to TB could be feathered out, graded out anytime, because I think that's dry from what I saw yesterday.
This is Tracy. Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Tracy.
Kathy, question for you. With the grant, if we got somebody to volunteer to grade that section, even though it's not necessarily the section, if somebody volunteers, will that volunteer hours work for the grant?
No, because I think that most of the trail, except for a couple of little things, is between the couple of culverts, but the actual resurfacing and stuff is between TB and Gotham.
So all the maintenance for that grant needs to be done between TV and Gotham?
Correct. It has to meet what's in the specs.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I think we need to have this on our next agenda item, and I would like to have a couple of people go down and I kind of would like to see what we're talking about.
I would too, because if the grant's not going to cover from Sawmill Road to TB, then we need to come up with a plan to, if we can raise that area by 6 or 8 inches.
Or a ditch,
And,
with ditching.
well, from what I saw, I don't think there's any ditching that's going to help unless you're going to go 300, 400 feet.
Which area are you talking about? Where it got washed out?
Yeah, the rills.
I went through there last fall when I filled that all in and cleaned that ditch all out to direct water away from that area. Just past the Groomer building?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Okay, so everything is from,
Yeah, the majority of it, problem is from TB to Gotham.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think we spent enough time on our bike trail. There's no immediate needs that need to be addressed at this time? Safety issues, okay. Move on to agenda item number 7, the rifle range.
Up there, Kerry.
Okay. Are we still good on boards? Last I looked, we were kind of good and it still was okay. There's just some debris of wood that has been used and shredded up.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, there were still at least 6 sticks of lumber from the sawmill up there.
Any new issues that need to be brought up with the rifle range? All right. Move on to Rockridge Park, agenda item number 8. Gary Manning? You want to talk about your visit with Jeff Shore?
Harry Severson and I met with Jeff Shore, the water specialist for 3 or 4 counties around here. Give us pretty much immediate approval of using a semi-trailer there for a bridge. I measured it 2 or 3 days after we was there. This 53-foot aluminum bridge that I found will be at least 8 feet on each bank, give it good support. Found a 53-foot all aluminum frame and all deck and everything will be aluminum for $8,500. The owner of the company is Alliance Trailer out of Madison. They've promised me to keep this trailer as long as they could, hoping it doesn't exceed no more than 2 months. Because he could sell this, I'm sure, for 15,000 if he advertised it.
I did talk to Jeff or emailed him, and I've got the procedure. It's probably gonna take more than 2 months to get that, because you have to fill out the permit, and we'll need, I don't know who in the county has, we have to go through the whole permit process, this, whatever it's called, I can't top it, WAMs, whatever that, and we have to go through it, and I need a county credit card to pay for the permit. Because if we don't, we can't pay a check. So I don't know who in the county.
I did talk to Clint, and I think it's going to be in the next board meeting to suspend the payment of the well in Viola, to use that money for this bridge. That's supposed to be, I think, in the minutes for the next meeting. I guess I haven't talked to him since I brought it up to him. So then the money would be available somewhat right away.
That's not the issue I have. The issue is everything is all the permit is online. To pay for the permit, you have to have a credit card,
Oh, the permit itself.
the permit itself. So
How much is the permit, Kathy?
it's like $300.
Okay.
And I don't have a credit card I'm not gonna put it on my personal credit card. I don't think we should. I mean, we're not supposed to. So I need to talk to Clinton to find out who in the county has credit card that it could be charged. So when they get the bill, that would be charged back to the parks. And I have talked to Clinton in the past, mentioned to him that they need to have, it doesn't have to be like our department or where, just a place, even if it's the county administrator's office, you go to and say, okay, I need to charge for this purpose.
Makes sense.
So, I need to find out who we can go through.
So Kathy, when we use our own money to purchase stuff, to repair stuff in the parks, you've always been good to take the receipts, turn them in, and get a check cut. So if I gave you my credit card and you used my credit card and you got a receipt back with my credit card on it, could that be turned in the same way as another bill and just get reimbursed 30 days later?
Good, but I think it's cleaner if we can use something that's that the county,
I think there's a policy that
Yep.
actually frowns on that, because
yep,
you could get points on your credit card. So anybody using personal credit cards is not allowed. So MIS has one, Sheriff's Department has one, HHS has one.
I'll send an email out and just say,
I would contact Clint actually and
Yep.
just tell him what our issue is and that, put
Yep.
it in his ballpark to,
yep,
because I would think Victor would have to have a credit card for the county. He doesn't?
Victor will get one, I don't believe, but Clint, I'm sure would be able to help you out, or like say MIS or Sheriff's Department does it as a pass through all the time.
yeah, and that's what I was hoping to, I told Clinton we don't need one, just somewhere in the county that,
Yep.
and make it known where it is because we had, the bridge permits we had for the snowmobile were a mess, because we did check and they didn't want to do check, and yeah, it's all online and they want credit card only, so.
Well, I don't want to take any points away from the county, that I would probably have to go to confession over.
I think a motion would be appropriate. Is this in our budget to pay for a permit? Did we put that in our budget? As a line item, I think a motion would be in order to have get that $300 for a permit for that bridge.
Well,
Can I just say, just to let you know, right now there's, including our levy of 38,127. Tammy checked with Victor's office or the clerk's office, and there's $82,106.07 in there. So there's about 43,000. It's in the fund.
Well, that's why I was kind of hoping that by the next county board meeting, if the county board approves of moving that money from the well to the bridge, it
Okay, I see.
wouldn't be affecting our budget.
Okay. Is there any further discussion on Rockbridge Park? Any ideas for maintenance, cleanup, the stairway, walk?
The stairway maintenance continues. Gary reiterated that a tree needs to come out in order to secure the landing at the second flight of stairs where it turns and heads west. Otherwise, we're going to lose that landing. And then I gave some information about picnic tables from a company called Kirby Built, just like the Kirby vacuum cleaner. And I got that information off of the last picnic tables that the city bought for the old community center, Old Mill Pond Park. And they're 100% recycled material with stainless bolts. They're quite heavy, and I think they would be a great addition to the backside of that rock at Rockbridge. And so I gave the information to Eric, and so he'll look, I'll look, I'm sorry, and come up with a price for some picnic tables. And Eric talked about getting some ring material for fire rings from his work, and getting in a couple more campsites on the backside there.
So currently, we were talking about this campsite business. We're currently permitted for 10, right?
We have to submit, if we want to do more, we have to submit a plan that shows where the other ones are going to go on a map.
So I was up there yesterday, walked around. I mean, I think we could easily have 5 campsites, maybe 6 on the backside of that rock.
I figured 6.
Yeah, and I think what we need to look into is putting 2 like RV sites with power. One on each side of that tree down by the kayak landing.
Yep.
For now, and see kind of what would happen if we get more people there to camp with RVs that would stay the weekend type thing, and try to advertise it with the UTV crowd, the kayak canoer crowd. So there might be people that come up here and stay a week and explore everything we have to offer. So,
Yep. So I don't know if we have to talk to Kenny about that, but digging down and putting some breaker run in and some gravel, and because they'd be primitive sites, just to be able to support a 40, 50-foot
yeah,
RV. Yeah.
yep,
Talking on the backside of the rock?
Nope.
nope.
You drive along the road to go through the tunnel, right there where the kayak landing is. You got the parking lot. There's a tree there, and just make a parking spot on either side of that tree so that they could back out and turn around.
Where that beaver was? The beaver that ate the tree?
Well, there's still a tree there. I don't think the beaver got this one.
There's that great big tree. I think we're talking about
Yeah.
the same tree.
Yep.
And across the road there's a power pole.
Yep. But the power pole, when I asked Dale about it, he didn't know if you could handle 250 amp services there.
Okay.
So,
About putting in electric right away.
right,
Just
we just get the,
two
just get the
spots.
places where they could pull off, advertise, we've got 2 RV sites.
If people wanted to, they could boondock or whatever they
Yep.
call it.
Yeah, and most RVs have, have a generator anyway,
Yep,
so,
water and sewer, so.
yeah.
Yep, and the city, of course, has a dump station down there and,
Right.
and she has that information, and gives it to whoever camps down there, that when they're done, they can go up to the old site of the city's wastewater and dump their waste, so.
So would it be beneficial to go out there and line out a couple parking spots for those RVs and maybe get some screenings, gravel placed in there?
Yeah, I know a guy who could probably calculate how much breaker run and gravel would need to go in there.
Would these be additional spots to what is currently there? So we have to go with a map and for the
I'd have to-
permitting
you'd have-
process?
You guys would have, well, I'd be the one doing it, but you guys would have to submit that to the state.
Yeah, it's no fee, it's just they want a map.
Well, that's right, we gotta get that approved first, don't we? Okay, well, let's go through that process. then.
Yeah, so maybe somebody can come in.
Yeah, I'll go home and draw up a map and then fax it to you.
And then I know we gotta find out about this permit and the money for it and everything. But I was hoping I could give this man that we at least proved here to take it forward to the county board. Should we have, a motion to, take this to the county board to purchase this trailer for $5,800? The 8,500 includes the trailer, the axles being cut off, the dollies being cut off, and delivered to the park.
I'll second Gary's motion.
Thank you.
So we have a motion to go ahead and purchase the trailer for $5,800.
Nope, 85.
No,
$8,500.
8,500.
And have it delivered to the park. Seconded by John. Is there any discussion?
So is this going in on the back side of the rock
Correct.
over that stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
As a walking bridge only?
No, it will be able to take small tractors, riding lawnmowers,
Okay.
UTVs, ATVs.
Okay.
My only concern is that I'd like to have the permit in hand before we go, and I don't want Jeff to all of a sudden change his mind and then here we are stuck with that.
Exactly, that's what I worry about.
So I just would rather get that permit first from him saying it's okay in writing.
I
Other
just
than
hate
a
to see
voice.
this trailer slip away. I want to be able to tell him it's in progress, that we've approved to take it forward to the county board. I just want to be able to keep in contact that we are working on this. Please keep it for us.
Yeah, and so our motion is to go ahead and purchase the bridge. When it gets to the county, you and Carrie can banter back and forth about, the motion would be to purchase the bridge based off of,
What about Tim?
Tim's not gonna say anything. I'm picking on you.
I thought he could banter back and forth too.
No, he doesn't banter. He just gives the facts and only facts. So, you guys can, discuss that as far as, the purchase wouldn't take place until the permit's in hand.
The other thing I'd like to discuss on that is whoever does go down the trail and look at the trail, we need to get the height of the boards, the separation of the boards, because we'll have to make railings on this trailer. So if we go off the bridges that's existing down there now, we know that's been engineered and we know that works. So if anybody does go in there, if you get me the distance from the bottom of the bridge, the first board, second board, third board, whatever, we'll need that to build one onto this trailer.
Of the new bridges that we just put up?
No,
The snowmobile
I'm
bridges?
talking about the ones on the bicycle trail now.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's Eric's specialty. He makes those bridges.
I think it's 42 inches to the top. Pretty sure.
And how many boards are there? 3?
There's 3, one way at the bottom, one in the middle, one on top.
So we have a motion to go ahead and purchase $8,500, right? Get the bridge and have it delivered to, but we're not gonna follow through with that until the county board approves it. And upon the eligibility of the actual written permit in hand first. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Any more on Rockbridge Park?
Giving you a call, talk about it, so make sure everything, when we do the permit.
Moving on to agenda item number 9, Viola Park. Is there any comments, concerns with Viola Park? Hearing none, moving on to agenda item number 10, kayak landing at State Highway 80.
Just want to make sure that if everybody agree with taking the money from the well and using it for the bridge, everybody here is in approval of that?
That discussion happened quite a while ago, and
I agree. I just.
we're not the ones that disagreed with it.
You're right.
Agenda item number 10, kayak landing at State Highway 80 and County Highway SR. Sub A signing.
Yes, Josh Elder, is that the, works for the highway,
Yeah.
does the signs, and he stopped over in one day. And it's not gonna be the big brown signs, you can't, but it's gonna be it's like white signs with an arrow, so it'll be one on each, my understanding is like one on each side, or, as you're approaching it, it's gonna point to the kayak landing. It's gonna say kayak landing, and
And that's something nice that the highway department's gonna put up, or the state has
highway
already
department will
approved.
put up, there'll be a charge for the sign and the permit, but Josh
Right.
is gonna take care of it, and then they charge it back to the parks.
Okay. Anything else with that kayak landing? All right. Number 11, Snowmobile Alliance. You have anything with that, Kathy?
I don't know unless you guys have anything new to report, that's kind of why it's on there.
Just our landowners feed is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
You guys want, you could come down too and visit. Be at the Phoenix Center from 5 until 7, I think, and then at Turbo's.
Saturday at the Phoenix Center, and then Sunday up to Turbo's. Turbo's is 11 to 2. And the Phoenix Center 4 to 7, maybe? Something like that.
Yeah, 5 to 8 at the Phoenix Center, and then at Turbo's, it'll be 11 until 2 on Sunday. Turbo's is Sunday from 11 to 2. Phoenix is Saturday, 5 until 8 p.m. You can go down there and visit, see what the landowners, see what they are, and they can interact with us, and I think it's all a good thing in the end. I don't know, probably shouldn't have said that, because then we gotta meet the quorum things, but it's a chance gathering. We won't be discussing any business there either. Snowmobile grants,
I'm finishing up the snowmobile grants. I gave one of those capital improvement, sent that to, Mr. Heim for the Meese Bridge. I haven't gotten anything back yet. And I'm assuming we'd have to do it for the city. I don't know who at the city would be the person to send it to. This, for the rock riprap, I'm assuming we'd have to have one of them signs, right? We've never done it before, but
What are you looking for?
we're applying for grants, for the bridge, new snowmobile bridge down on the, Meese property on the trail, and then there's 2 sites on the, along the Pine River in the city limits that if we don't do something, the trail is gonna disappear and they're gonna have to reroute around the city.
that would be at the footbridge, right, Eric?
Just past the footbridge.
Yeah, past footbridge, mine mobile.
And it's on county-owned, sorry, city-owned property. So,
Yeah, I've already seen it. It's went through some committee already.
okay. So, do
Yeah.
I,
I would send the information to Derek.
okay, that's what I was thinking. And then, the other one is, it's on land owned by Schreibers and the Foundry. And I don't know who, I was gonna talk to you or whoever, who's got contact with them down there to
Let's see if I
approve.
can find it.
Okay,
I don't know about the Foundry, but I do have a contact with Schreibers.
okay. Those were only my only 2 questions that came up after.
When do you need all the hours turned in by?
I I think we've said like the end of May, what we'd like to have them done, but mid-June is okay, and, you know, because the grant goes from July 1st to June 30th.
And December 15th was the grants for the bridges and stuff needed to be in by then.
April.
April 15th, yeah.
December 15th, we've already passed. So, but yeah, then it gives me a chance to do the stuff in June to have it bring it to the July meeting for you guys to approve.
Boat landings, agenda item 13.
I don't know of anything new, but I was going to let you guys know that my other hat, land conservation, we've applied for a grant for the invasive species. And one of the things was clean boats, clean waters, and we were, just to let you know that we want to do one of those events, at least one, maybe two, you know, few events down at the Port Andrews boat landing, 'cause that one gets used a lot. And if anybody knows anybody who would be interested in helping us out with that, we'd be training them. And we're going to get trained, and then we'll train them how to do it. So it'd be a volunteer thing, but
So Joe Bulk, Mary Ellen lives right across there, and they're using that landing 3 or 4 times a week. So what's the requirement? What, training them to do what?
when boaters come in and out, we're showing them, inspecting, making sure that they're not bringing in or bringing in, or, you know, when they're coming in or leaving the boat landing with invasive species attached to any part of the boat, and explaining what to look for.
So they'd be hanging out down at the boat landings?
You know, a couple, 3 hours, a couple of times.
Okay, I'll let them know. Call your office?
Yes.
Okay.
Supervisor Mark Cooey has some complaints about the port, the Orion boat landing. You know what he was talking about that night? Needed to be dug out or something? And he's receiving complaints about that also from other people. I think it's worth something for us to investigate, but I thought we did some digging down there at one point in time. Is that something that we need to do again?
I mean, listening to, even you talked about your husband, it's not necessarily the way it was designed, I think, is part of the problem.
So if there is currently like an L kind of a shape thing, or if there should be more of an L shape approach, that's about all I recollect. I've never been out there with him to see just what he's talking about. But yeah, it's not very easy at all to get in there, and it's not necessarily because of it needing to be dug out. It's just the way the approach has been designed to the landing. No.
Okay, that's something that I should follow up on. Number 14, Pine Valley site. That currently was brought to property committee on Wednesday or Thursday last week. Thursday, and they approved rescinding the former resolution to sell that property. So now it's going on to county board for them to have a chance to rescind that and to keep it in the county. So that's one step. The other issue, there's an issue now, is our former corporation counsel, Ben Southwick, retired or resigned. So he's no longer our county's corporation counsel. In the midst, we have in the meantime, we have an interim corporation counsel, Julie DeDune. And so I talked with Clint about it, and she's working on a lot of other stuff on the county that probably is going to come before takes precedence, I think, before our park thing does. So we just have to work with them and the timing with stuff. Because she's new and she's picking up where Ben kind of left off and cleaning up some things that she's noticed, or I'm not sure. I think in the meantime, I think we should talk to Alan Umbehound, let him know our situation, where we're at with that. So he has an idea on crops if he's gonna plant there. And if there is crops and this does go through, do we wait until the crops are off or do we offer him money once it's done?
I'll call Dave on that,
Okay,
see what he thinks, because I've got a feeling they'll be harvested before we get much going on there now.
Hidden Valley, is there any, with that? They did contact me the other day. Sent an email, wanted me to go sign some paperwork for him, and I did. I had prior approval from Ben Southwick to do this before, earlier in June for a small business loan. Since we're still paying members of that, we're still on the board, and I was handy because they bank at Richland County Bank. So they got that stimulus money for a small business to pay the employees.
So I still haven't found out what we need to do to get out of it.
I think it's sending a letter of intent to withdraw.
That come from board probably, or Clinton?
Start here with a
Start here.
motion.
You already did.
Okay,
You've already done the
as
motion.
long as that paperwork's in front of the administrator, then he hands it to whoever to send the letter. Or he himself can send the letter.
Anything else with Hidden Valleys? Okay, commission member reports, Tim? Cindy? Commission member report, you don't have anything? Ed? Gary? John?
Oh, I think it's going to be a busy spring in all the parks. I know I counted over 100 people in the city parks yesterday. And Saturday, there was over 200 with the folks down at the car show. And the few that I talked to generally don't do that on Easter. They're usually with family. And because of COVID, they were just out and doing things outside. So as much as we can, to expand and make accessible our trails and parks, I think it's going to be a big year, a banner year for tourism in our county. And tourism is going to be a big help in bailing the county out with the 0.5% sales tax that they can charge, unlike the city who can't. So we can generate another 4 or 5 million in tourism, add another 25, 30,000 to the general fund. Maybe you and Tim and Gary can get more money as a county board member. Just kidding on that one, but
We all benefit from that.
that's right.
All the citizens of Richland County benefit from that
That's
sales
right.
tax.
Absolutely do. So if there's something that people need done on a trail or in a park, a complaint, as soon as we can hear it and address it, we should do that. That's all. Gary's referring to the bridge at Rockbridge. And I called Dale Bender asking about funds that would be available from private entities that might donate. And he said his last project that he's been working on for 5 years, Safe Routes to School, has consumed everything that he's been able to generate. Not that there's not money out there, but it's kind of skinny right now as far as finding that kind of money. But on the other hand, if anybody knows of anybody that has come forward and said, boy, I'd sure like to see more done at Pier Park, then just hold your hand out and say, okay, we'll take your money and we'll make it happen. So.
I would agree with John, though. I was up in Rockbridge like yesterday, and there was quite a group up there underneath the shelter there having lunch or whatever. So, yeah, it'll be a busy place.
I don't have nothing to add. We got agenda item number 17, future agenda items. Do you have anything for any future agenda items they want to talk about? If you don't have anything that comes to the top of your head right now, please feel free to either contact me or let Kathy know, and I'm comfortable with you guys putting stuff on the agenda if you want to talk about it.
And Tammy usually sends it out, the Monday, like the afternoon of the Monday for the meeting. So the last Monday of the month.
And it's okay to make amendments to the agenda.
Right, if something comes up, but
It has to be within 24-hour notice, though. Our bills.
we only have one bill, and it's from Summit Fire Protection. It's to the service of the fire extinguisher at Rockbridge for $16.75.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Gary Manning to pay our bill of $16, and John Collins seconds that. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carried. When do we want to meet again?
Carrie, before we go, we got to clear up what we're gonna do with the bridge up at Kaz. The check's sitting there waiting to be sent. The bridge is on the Nate Duran property, or the one abutment's in Sauk County, the other one's in Richland County. It's on the county line. Sauk County has paid for the bridge itself. And then they were asking Richland County to pay for these other two expenses associated with the bridge. And we keep getting asked by whatever her name is, Carly, or whatever her name is. There we go. Thank you. So I guess I need one way or the other, whether you want. We held it, but this is what it's about.
So it's just gonna go against the snowmobile agreement anyway, right?
Correct.
Well, is that a funded trail that it's on or not? That's the other thing.
Right.
Do we have funding that goes right to that line? Because I think there's two spots, isn't there, that in Casanova? Goes up to Quaker Valley Road is where that, I thought the trail was for, but
Because they do have a trail to Bunker Hill that's not state funded.
Mhm.
So I guess we really need to know what section of trail that's on.
I'll get
Yeah.
the email from Tammy and I'll email the lady and find out. I don't know myself.
No, I don't either.
When does audit meet again?
Well, the check's already been, it was one you had cut and you guys decided to not send. You had to go through the audit, but there was a hold put on it. It's been sitting up at the clerk's office.
Okay. Well, that can be mailed out at any time, right?
Right.
I think if Eric and I investigate more or whatever, and then if this committee feels comfortable, I'll just give the go-ahead to Victor to send the check out. And work with Tammy. Is that something? Okay. When do we want our next meeting?
Monday, May 3rd.
All right. At 5:30 p.m. Wonderful. What's on our next agenda? Is it adjournment? Okay. Would entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion by Gary, seconded by Tim Gotcho. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carried. We are adjourned.